No savings, no problem. You think you need a big bank account to buy your first rental property, you're already losing. The truth is that most beginners are not just broke, they're undereducated on leverage and scared to talk about money with other adults. Before we get into it, do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss future real world investing breakdowns. If you're new to the channel, I'm Bud Emmons. I'm a retired United States Air Force officer with 35 years of service and a retired police officer with 13 years of service. I previously served as the mayor of Cinnaminson, New Jersey. I'm now a New Jersey real estate agent and an active investor, and I own a property management company. Here is the game you're actually playing. Most people don't fail in real estate because they lack information. They fail in real estate because of misconceptions, because they believe the lie that they have to save for years before they can move on real estate. I hear it all the time. I'll invest when I have more money. Or I'll start when my bank account looks better. Or I just need one more year. I just need a little more time. That kind of thinking will keep you stuck because it turns real estate into a someday goal instead of a right now decision. And as we all know, dreams without action are fantasy. Real estate is not about how much cash you have. It's about whether you can control an asset and whether you can structure the deal so that the money problem just gets solved. So today I'm going to give you 5 legitimate ways to fund your first rental property without doing anything illegal, unethical, or just plain stupid. These are real options that work in the real world. So let's start with the cleanest one. Way number 1, house hack with owner-occupied financing. This is the easiest entry point for most beginners because the system is built to help people buy a primary residence. If you live in the property, you can often get access to lower down payments, better interest rates, and more flexible underwriting than you would get as an investor. Your job is pretty simple. You live in one part of the property and you rent out the rest, whether it's a unit or by the room. That can look like a duplex where you live in one unit and rent out the other. It can look like a single family home where you only need 2 bedrooms and you get one with 5, so you rent out the rooms. It can look like a small multifamily property, like a triplex or a quad where you occupy one unit and you lease out the others. The point here is not to hit home runs on cash flow from day one. The point here is to bunt and move yourself along around the base pad. So the point is to lower your living expenses while you build equity, build landlord experience, and learn what actually breaks when real humans live there. That one move can take your monthly housing from painful to manageable or a little bit of cash flow. And that's often the difference between a beginner who survives and a beginner who quits. Way number 2, let's talk about your retirement accounts. Using them correctly. This scares people because they don't understand the rules and they assume that it's illegal or it's really only for rich people. It's not. Some retirement accounts can flat out invest in real estate, but you have to set them up the right way and follow the rules exactly. Common examples are self-directed IRAs and solo 401ks for self-employed people. So here's the basic idea. Instead of your retirement money sitting in whatever the default plan offers, you may be able to place it into investments like real estate, either by buying a property or partnering on a deal or lending on a private note. The warning label here matters. You cannot treat your property like your personal toy. You cannot self-deal. You cannot cut corners. You need a custodian. You need clean paperwork, and you need to understand what is and is not allowed before you move a single dollar. When you use it right, this can unlock capital that you already have or capital that's sitting in the family that's earning mediocre returns. Now, if you use it incorrectly, you can create penalties, tax issues, and a complete and total mess. So the rule is pretty simple. Don't wing this. Learn the rules first and use professionals who do it and understand it every day. Way number 3, private money from people you already know. Let's kill another myth. Raising private money is not begging. It's representing an opportunity professionally. Most people you know aren't broke. They're just not investors. And maybe they don't know how the system works. They may have cash in savings. They may have equity. They may have retirement accounts. They may have money sitting around doing absolutely nothing meaningful. They also don't have the time or the patience or the skill to find the deals that you're looking at, manage renovations, screen tenants, or handle the property management. That's where you come in. You solve the problem. You bring the deal. You bring the execution. They bring the capital. You bring the experience. They earn a return. You get ownership, equity, or a combination depending on the structure and how you want to work it. But here's the part that separates the adult from the amateur. You have to treat this like a business. That means written agreements, clear terms, clear expectations, clear risk discussions, and a clear exit strategy. If you treat it casually because it's your uncle or your buddy, you're setting yourself up for a ruined relationship with lawsuits. Private money works when you operate like a professional. It blows up when you operate like a desperate person. Way number 4, partner strategically. This is not the same thing as borrowing private money. Private money is usually debt. Someone lends, you pay them back, you pay them interest. In a partnership, there's equity involved. You share the risk, you share the reward, and you share the decision making. A strong partnership is built on clear roles and clean documentation. One partner might bring capital, one might bring operations experience and deal finding, one might bring some other strength, credit maybe. One might bring rehab or construction experience, and one might bring property management capabilities. Partnerships work when each partner has a defined role and a defined job with a defined benefit, and when the agreement spells out exactly what happens if something goes wrong. Think of it like a prenuptial agreement. Partnerships fail when everything is vague. If you hear yourself saying, "We will figure it out later," that's a huge red flag. Also, never partner out of desperation. Just walk away from the deal. Desperation creates bad deals and bad partners, and a bad partnership will cost you more than just missing out on that deal. You want clarity. You want aligned goals. You want a written operating agreement or a partnership agreement that covers all your decisions, your money flow, how to handle disputes, and exits. Way number 5, creative seller solutions. This is where many deals are born because it's not about your savings account. It's about the seller's problem and your ability to structure a solution, be a problem solver. Creative financing includes things like seller financing, subject to on an existing loan, and lease option, or maybe assumption of a loan. These strategies can reduce or sometimes even eliminate the need for a traditional down payment. But let's not confuse creative with sloppy. Creative deals require negotiation skill, clear paperwork, and proper legal structure. You need a real estate attorney who understands the strategy that you're using. You need to understand your state rules. You also need to understand the risks before you sign anything. Here is the practical reality. Most creative deals do not get found by scrolling listings and hoping to get creative through conversations. You have to find a seller who has a real pain point. Maybe they have low equity, but a low interest rate loan that they just don't have the money to pay off. Or maybe they need debt relief. Maybe they need to move and just can't sell the property fast enough. Or maybe they own it free and clear, but need predictable payments and they haven't renovated for a very long time. Your job is to listen, diagnose the problem, propose a structure that solves their issue while giving you control of the property. If you can't explain the deal clearly, you shouldn't be doing it. A lot of this is about the educating of the seller. Let me pause here for a moment. If you're a veteran trying to raise capital for your first property without blowing yourself up financially, this is exactly the type of stuff that we do inside the war room with David Perret. No theory, real deal structure, real numbers, real accountability. That's why I'm in the war room. That's why I've been there for over 6 years. If you have any questions, the link is down in the description. And when it makes sense for you, I also offer one-off coaching calls to help you choose the right capital strategy based on your income, your risk tolerance, and your goals. And you can find that at budevans.com. Sign up for a call now. Now let's bring this home with the part that most people avoid. Most of the time, lack of capital is not the real problem. The real problem is a lack of resourcefulness. It's a lack of clarity. It's a lack of confidence, and it's a lack of a plan. Money moves towards clarity. When you understand the deal and you can explain it in plain English and you can show the investor how they get paid back or get protected, capital will show up. But if you sound confused, emotional, or desperate, nobody serious is going to handle you. No one serious is handing you any money. So here's how you execute this without getting yourself in trouble. First, pick one strategy. Go deep inside of chasing 5 strategies at once. If you can house hack, start there. It's the fastest on-ramp. If you can't house hack, decide if your next best option is private money, a partnership, or some kind of creative structure. Second, build a simple deal presentation. It doesn't need to be fancy here. You want to have things like your purchase price, your expected rent, your expected expenses, your plan for repairs, how the money gets paid, how the money gets used, how the lender or partner will get paid back, a worst case scenario, and a backup plan. Third, get your paperwork and professional team lined up before you take any money at all. You need an attorney, a title company, an insurance agent, a lender or a mortgage broker, a property manager, or your own process for managing. You don't need to build the plane after takeoff, and you don't need to build the parachute after you jump out of the plane. So let's lock this in with a checklist that you can actually use. Decide if the owner-occupied house hack fits your lifestyle and your timeline. 2. If you use retirement funds, learn the rules first and use the correct structure. 3. If you approach private money, act like a professional and document everything. 4. If you partner, define your roles, decision rights, and exit plans in writing. 5. Learn creative financing so that you can solve seller problems and reduce the cash required. 6. Never choose a capital strategy out of desperation. That's how you get trapped. 7. Focus on controlling assets and protecting the downside, not looking cool. If this helped you, as always, let's do that YouTube thing. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any future breakdowns. Thanks for watching. I'm Bud Evans. Aim high, execute fast. See you on the next one.